anything that needed to be passed along would go through the captains, and then each captain is responsible to tell his crew, and that would be the way. There was no notes or nothing like that, but the captain would tell his crew whatever it is that he was told, even if it was like, we got to come up with money for, like, for instance, you heard me talk about we came up with money one time for Vic's appeal, and then Vic needed some housework done on his house, and we came up with money that was all passed down from the administration to your captain to the crew.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go back to one of our old videos where we had a ton of questions. This is the Christmas episode. Let me just see. Very interesting. You kind of talked about this on a previous podcast, but I want to go deeper with it. So Stefan says, the West Side was super secretive, super successful. They're the Ivy League. Why do you think all the other families? Why didn't they, I know, like they're like you said, they're from outer space, right?
Yeah.
That's getting too weird. Why didn't just everybody emulate them and strengthen their teams?
I mean, like I think I've mentioned, I think that the Sicilian faction of the Gambinos did do that in a way, and I don't believe that they were necessarily emulating the West Side. They could be bringing old country values into their life here, but I don't really know the answer. I mean, it's as much as we joked around and knocked them, and called them from outer space and whatnot. You can't, you got to give them credit because they kind of knew what they were doing and they were very cautious. Why everyone didn't kind of go by, take their lead, or emulate them, I don't know. I mean, it probably would have been a good idea.
Interesting. So, all right, there's a lot about the Jersey Crew, guys. We're getting a lot of questions. John and I are going to expand our offering. Stay tuned for that. So we can't answer all the Jersey questions. I'm a Jersey guy. I would love for him to answer the questions. But I guess one of the big questions is, kind of like the split in Jersey. Why did Perna get roughed up? Why did he go to Staten Island? And then how did kind of the Jersey Crew land with like Nicky Scarfo and some other guys? If you could just maybe top line. I know
So Perna gets roughed up by his cousins, but Perna at that time was not even a friend. So this is a long time ago. That had nothing to do with why he came to the Staten Island. From what I heard was that there was some inter-family fighting between their cousins and the Pernas, and exactly what happened, I don't know, because you don't really X. So I think I mentioned that first we got Ralphie and Johnny Perna, and then when they went back and they were sent back to Jersey, then we got Joey, the other son. So it was something was going on. There was a lot of arguing. There was a lot of Joe Perna didn't speak so highly of his father and brother, and I spoke highly to him of the father, and there seemed to be some, how that goes. That happens in normal families. The father, the son, they're arguing. So that's what was happening there. What else did you say? You said something about Nicky Scarfo.
Yeah, Nicky Scarfo Jr. What happened to him?
Nicky Scarfo Jr. was the reason why he was even inducted in the family is because they tried to kill him. So Vic was away with his father, and to protect the kid, they straightened him out. And when I came into the family, he was already gone, and already he got himself in trouble. But that he was part of the Brooklyn faction at one time.
Got it.
And I'm sorry, he was he was part of the Jersey crew, and then he became actually he was caporegime of that crew. And then he was taken down, and I believe he was put with the Brooklyn crew, but I could be wrong about that. But I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Got it. So this is a question that seems to get asked and pretty often is what was your interaction with non-Italian associates, biker gangs, street gangs, Bloods? Maybe not yourself, but Lucchese's had an indictment a little while back and seemed to have like kind of Bloods on either on the payroll or kind of working with them. What's your thoughts? And who did you first start with you, John Pennisi? Who did you first interact with, maybe non-Italian gangs, and then who, in your opinion, did Lucchese's mess with as a Borgata?
For myself, I did not interact with anybody outside of